Hello everyone, Hyper here. In the book The Art of War, Sun Tzu says that if you know the enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. His strategic philosophy has been applied to several disciplines, from law to debating, and I thought it applied very well to competitive video games and WoW PvP. This episode will focus largely on the importance of knowledge within the arena. Knowing the enemy in PvP is just as important as it is in PvE. When going into a raid, you need to first of all understand your own character, its abilities, its limitations, and also what each of the boss abilities do so you can make the correct decisions. The same thing happens in Arena, but now you need to understand both your team and the enemy team you play against, at least to a basic level. You should always keep in mind things like what offensive cooldowns, what defensive cooldowns the enemy has, and what CC they have. There's a few different ways about understanding and gaining this knowledge, depending on the type of person you are. You can check out the compendium with all the information in it, which I will link at the bottom, or you can simply dive into Arena as a blank slate and try to learn something from each game. For example, if you're not familiar with how a Shadow Priest works and you end up facing one, try actually paying attention to what it does and how it functions, because in the future this information and understanding it will help you out quite a lot. All classes have strengths and weaknesses, and learning those will give you a huge upper hand in the arena. Once you've been queuing Arena for a little bit, you will probably notice that people will start calling a kill target. And this is the most basic understanding of your specific composition's win condition. If we go on X target, then we have a highest likelihood of winning, so we should keep that in mind. After you gain some rating and start using things like voice comms, this is taken a few steps further. Now you will be able to call CCs, target swaps, and constantly reevaluate your win condition depending on the conditions in the game. So for example, does the healer or the kill target have trinkets, defensive cooldowns, things like that. Having a vague idea of how a matchup should actually play out will actually increase your success rate. And this, of course, will be a mostly subconscious process after a while, but here is what goes through my mind when I play against RMP, which is Rogue, Mage, and Priest. I know that the Rogue will be our primary kill target, which means that we need to first get him to use his Cloak of Shadows, his Evasion, his Trinket, and we also need to get the Priest, who is the healer in this case, to use Barrier, Pain Suppression, and his Trinket. If we go through all of these defensive cooldowns, then we have a high likelihood of actually winning the game. So from this point, we can strategize and try to circumvent some of these defensives to win quicker. So we start thinking about things such as, can we CC chain the Priest or, smoke bomb on the Rogue to counterplay their defensive cooldowns. The last segment of this video is about general arena mechanics that I think everyone should understand. The first one is MMR, which stands for Matchmaking Rating. This is what truly determines how many points you gain or lose after each arena match played, and it also determines who you are facing against. It is a streak-based system, so this means that if you win several games in a row, then your MMR will increase much quicker than your CR will, and same thing if you lose. MMR is also the reason why you should not really queue with people who are much higher or much lower than yourself. Because if you queue with someone who's much lower and you end up winning a game, you will probably only gain a few points. However, if you lose with them in your group, then you will end up losing a bunch of points. And same thing goes for queuing with people who are extremely high. It will be beneficial for you, but for them it will be extremely detrimental. The second mechanic is dampening, which is a passive healing reduction within the arena that builds up over time. This was kind of implemented to make games a little bit shorter, especially in 2v2. Because in 2s, some games would actually just go on for a very, very long time. Once the debuff appears on you, it will reduce healing done by 1%, and this will increase every 10 seconds by an additional 1%. This is an arena mechanic that several compositions rely on as a win condition, especially in 2v2. In 3v3 it's a little bit less prevalent, but there's still comps who kind of rely on going into dampening before they can win a game. Next, let's talk about CC, which stands for Crowd Control. These are abilities that cause your enemy to lose control of their character and are known as hard CC, such as stuns, fears, and incaps. Soft CCs are silences, roots, slows, and knockbacks. You will often hear people on stream or in tournament commentary talk about DR, which is something that a surprising number of people are unfamiliar with. DR stands for diminishing returns and refers to the duration a CC lasts if cast within quick succession of itself or CC from the same category, which I will talk about in a sec here. You will get diminishing returns from a CC if you cast it within 18 seconds of the same type of CC ending, and each DR stack will have its duration. As an example, if you polymorph a target, the first one will last 8 seconds, the second one will last 4 seconds, the third one will last 2 seconds, and the enemy will be immune to your fourth polymorph. You will often hear streamers refer to these as full, half, or quarter CC, referring to the duration that the CC actually lasts. Not all crowd control shares the same diminishing returns, rather they're split into categories. You have incapacitates, disorients, stuns, silences, and roots. This means that in theory, if you were to cast one of each onto an enemy in succession, then each one of them will last your full duration. So just to reiterate, a DR will last 18 seconds after the end of the CC, meaning that if I cast an 8-second CC on a target and they instantly trinket, I can use the same crowd control against them 18 seconds later. But if they sit the full duration, then I have to wait 26 seconds, so just 8 plus 18, until I can CC them again. And add-ons such as Gladius keep a great track of this, and the higher you climb on the ladder, the more important knowing these durations and keeping an eye on them will actually be. In the last few minutes of this video, I will try to answer some questions that people left either on Reddit or in the comment section of the first episode. The first question is kind of a complex one, but it's basically, why did I try out Arena? What are the incentives? So I decided to try out Arena because, as some of you might know, I've been a raider for pretty much my entire WoW career. I never really got into Arena. When Mythic Plus came out, I got into that kind of late in Legion, and I was actually really excited to push into Mythic Plus in BFA. And that was going to be my primary out-of-raid content that I was going to do. But then after reaching decent level keys, I kind of realized that the way they designed Mythic Plus, this expansion, which probably merits a video on its own, is not really what I enjoy in Mythic Plus. So I kind of need to look for something else that I could kind of be competitive in and I would also enjoy. So this is why I turned to Arena. I haven't really tried it before. The highest rated I've ever been was 2200 back in WoD, and that was on my Alt Warrior. And that was pretty much the only time I ever did Arena that was even remotely high rated, which 2200 is, still pretty low considering all things. So that is really the incentive for me. I don't do it for the gear, I just do it for the experience and to improve at something and kind of have something to show for it, which at the end is, the achievement or the rating, the prestige. The second part of this question is, what is fun and unfun about Arena from someone who is new to it? And what are some benefits of playing Arena in comparison to raiding? So first of all, Arena is extremely fun, at least for me, when I'm learning and I feel like I'm improving. It can be very frustrating when you stagnate at a rating, or it can be very frustrating when you just can't find people to play with, or the people you do find kind of don't really fit your standard. And I would say that's the more frustrating part about the Arena. But the fun part is just, getting to PvP, getting to win games, getting to, enjoy the game and improve and climb the ladder. And that competitive aspect has just always been fun for me. Now, what are some benefits of playing Arena in comparison to raiding? I think it's very much less time restricted. So I can come home from class and log on and queue some arenas. With raiding, it's very, very time restricted, especially if you do it at a high end. You have to log on, these 3 days or these 4 days or these 2 days, however much you raid at these set times, and you have to be there for that. With Arena, you have a lot more freedom of, some weeks you might be busy, other weeks you might have more time. So you can pretty much just play when you want. And I think this makes it very, very compelling for more casual players. And I'm actually very surprised that more casual players don't get into Arena. Because even if you're not climbing the ladder, Arena I feel like is a very fun kind of side content that you can do that allows you to just do it whenever you want. Whenever you log on, you can queue some games. The last question that I will answer in this episode is, do I play my Frost DK in Arena, or will I plan on playing my DK in Arena? So right now, I don't like the state of DK in Arena. You guys probably saw a few DKs in the first round of the BlizzCon tournament. And even though they might be viable in certain comps, I just don't enjoy the way they play in Arena. So once the patch 8.1 changes come around, I will probably try to push a high rating on my DK as well. But for now, I'm just going to be sticking to my Rogue. I know this was a very information-packed episode, but hopefully now you understand more about the Arena than when you started watching. In the next episode, I will talk about how to improve each game, how to adapt to your enemy, and some basic Arena strategies. As always, if you enjoyed the video, then hit the like button and sub to the channel. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. And if you want to support me, then check out my Patreon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.